Happy Sunday, Tampa Bay. We're with you for another week here on the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show on WFLA News, talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market like we are every Sunday at 10 o'clock. When we aren't on air, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. We are at The Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, pretty much every social media out there at The Duncan Duo, and we would love to help you with your real estate needs, again, at The Duncan Duo. And if you're looking for a home value estimate or to get an instant cash offer on your home, just go to duncanduo.com. Again, that is duncanduo.com for a home value estimate or an instant cash offer. So I want to talk real quick about the luxury real estate market and some of the success we've been having lately. And it's interesting because who you hire when you're selling real estate really does matter. Not all agents are created equal, and especially when you're talking about luxury property that is going to be exposed nationally and internationally. A lot of the high-end real estate in Tampa right now is selling outside of the country and outside of the state of Florida. And if the agent you hire doesn't have a marketing reach to get the property in front of those people, you are going to miss out on many opportunities. To give you an example, in the last couple of weeks, we've listed 2 properties above $2 million. One of them was a luxury estate property, 8,000 square feet on almost 10 acres. And another one was a luxury downtown condo in St. Pete. And in both situations, we got multiple offers. And again, that is not common in the upper end of the price range right now. We're seeing bidding wars in the low end of the price ranges, but it's certainly not common in homes above $1 million. And in both situations, because of our exposure on all the different listings, syndication services, the photos, the videos, all the social media marketing that we do, as well as our relationships with agents across the country to get the property exposed to the most number of buyers, as well as the most number of people that communicate with wealthy buyers. In both situations, we got multiple offers. So if you're out there and you've had your luxury home on the market and it hasn't moved, or you're thinking about hiring someone for the luxury space, don't skimp. Don't hire somebody because they'll do it cheap. You're selling the most expensive thing you own. There are a lot of agents out there that have gotten into business the last few years that are willing to do it cheap, but cheap work ain't good and good work ain't cheap. In a lot of instances, we're seeing agents that didn't have a lot of experience, don't have 7-figure sales experience selling these properties and not getting them sold. In other words, they put them on the market and they sit because they just don't know how to sell in that market because they're newer to the industry and they don't have the experience. So be cautious about who you hire when you're selling 7-figure real estate. We've had some great success lately doing some unique things with video and international marketing, and like I said, recently getting multiple offers on homes above $1 million. And I believe that, again, who you hire matters. The marketing behind what is being done, certainly the price strategy, but also the negotiation strategy. When you have an experienced agent that works a lot in that realm, they know how to talk the talk with someone that's a millionaire. They know how to navigate. They know how to play the patient game to try and best advantage the seller. And that's something that we bring to the table. In a lot of those situations, I'm personally working with those clients. So, I think my track record speaks for itself. If you're looking to interview someone else or unhappy because your home didn't sell, again, hit us up at duncanduo.com. And if you've got one above $1 million, there's a good chance my eyes are going to be on it, and you're probably going to hear from me. So I want to continue the conversation here. I want to talk about a new VA program. If you are a veteran or active duty military person, there is a lot of incredible housing opportunities that you have in the military and as a veteran that a lot of people don't know about. The VA loan allows you to buy the property with no money down. And again, it is the best loan product out there, in my opinion. No money down. You can own more than one home with a VA loan, depending on your entitlement and what you can qualify for. But the process to buy a home with a VA loan is smoother than some of the other loan products. So there are a lot of people, again, that don't realize it, or they talk to a lender that doesn't offer VA, or they just forget, or they thought that they used it years ago and they can't use it again. If you had a VA loan and you sold the property, you can go again and get a VA loan. So again, it is an incredible opportunity. for veterans and active duty military to buy with no money down. The one obstacle with VA loans, condos can be an obstacle because the condos have to meet certain criteria, and there are a lot of condos throughout Tampa Bay that do not meet that criteria. So just make sure if it's a single-family home, the VA loan should qualify the property, of course, as long as the property's in reasonably good condition, but condos are a little bit more challenging. VA also is announcing a program because thousands of veterans are facing foreclosure as pandemic-era forbearances end. The new loan program is only available to eligible veterans. So the VA announced a last resort program that provides 2.5% interest rate home loans to more than 40,000 veterans who are facing foreclosure. Through the VASP program, the Veteran Affairs Servicing Purchase Program, the VA will purchase defaulted VA loans from mortgage servicers, modify the loans, and place in the VA-owned portfolio as direct loans. This allows the VA to work directly with the eligible homeowner so that loans and monthly payments can be adjusted. Borrowers, which are eligible veterans and active duty service members and surviving spouses with VA guaranteed home loans who are experiencing severe financial hardship, will have a 2.5% fixed interest rate. So again, this is an amazing opportunity for veterans out there that are having some financial struggles. The program comes after thousands of veteran homeowners were told to pay a lump sum to rectify their pandemic era forbearances or refinance at higher interest rates. There are upwards of 6,000 borrowers with VA loans in a program that are in foreclosure and 34,000 others that are delinquent. So if you are a veteran that has struggled making their payment because of forbearances, or you have a VA loan, the VASP program is going to be offered through mortgage servicers beginning May 31st. So again, we can have our lender speak to you. We've got a couple different ones. If you have a mortgage lender that you're working with that did your loan, you certainly could reach out to them. But if you are someone that is struggling with the VA loan, you're behind, you're delinquent, you're in foreclosure, this new program is going to put you in an incredible interest rate and allow you to recover during this period of time where the forbearances have ended and lump sum payments are due. A lot of veterans can't refinance, can't catch that up. So this is a new program available to anyone with a VA loan that is delinquent or struggling. So again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. When we aren't on air, make sure to follow us on all of our socials at the Duncan Duo. Also, get your home value estimate at duncanduo.com. Again, your home value estimate at duncanduo.com. I want to talk really quickly about something that a lot of consumers get confused about right now as we navigate through our existing real estate market as it relates to insurance. So we've had multiple people recently say, well, I have a really good insurance policy, and I just want to transfer my insurance policy to the new owner because I have a great carrier and a great rate. Unfortunately, that isn't realistic. Your insurance policies are based on your, not just the property's threshold for risk, but yours as well. You qualify as well as the property. And when a new policy is written, it isn't typically, in very rare circumstances, it's just not assignable to the new homeowner. It's likely going to be a higher value for the property. They're going to have a different risk tolerance. They may look at different contents coverage. They may not have the same credit profile as you. And unfortunately, insurance carriers, when the property changes hands, they want to make sure that the condition of the property is okay. So if you've had a home that you've owned for a while, the insurance company isn't getting out and getting inside that property on a regular basis to determine the condition or what in a 4-point inspection may not qualify. In many instances, they're also, kind of looking the other way sometimes when it comes to the roof. They've already made money. They've already had a policy with you. They've already measured your risk. But a new owner of that property triggers that whole process over where the carrier wants to make sure before they take in onto that risk, because it's a new person, a different risk tolerance, a different price point, and they want to make sure of condition. So the new policy, that'll have to be written, even if it's the same carrier, is going to require some physical inspection, some verification of condition, some looking at inspection reports, a little deeper dive into the property condition to make sure that it's in acceptable condition. So unfortunately, insurance is a problem right now in the state of Florida. We've had carriers leaving. We've had citizens dumping policies. We've had just a variety of problems, but insurance policies are not able to be transferred from one owner to another owner. The only rare circumstance where it's possible to pull something off like that, there's a deal we're working right now with a consumer that owns 50 plus properties, and they're buying them in a bulk transaction. And what they're actually doing is acquiring the entity that owns all of those properties. So in investment situations, if let's just say I own an LLC and I have 12 properties in that LLC and I want to sell the 12 properties, my insurance could transfer to a quote unquote new owner, but it becomes a new owner of the LLC. The LLC still owns the asset. That isn't really an ownership change as the insurance carriers see it. So one workaround for investors to, kind of keep some of the low insurance rate opportunities out there is to buy the entity. So hopefully this information is helpful. And again, when we aren't on air and you want to stay up to date on what's going on in Florida real estate and Tampa real estate, you can always follow us on all the social channels. We are at The Duncan Duo. Again, that's at The Duncan Duo. If you're a real estate agent and you're thinking about a change, you want to move to a new company, you are interested in our team, you're interested in LPT Realty. One of the things that I now do in addition to running my real estate sales team is I help identify the right people and the opportunities for agents that run their own businesses, not within my team, that want to move their team to LPT Realty as it expands throughout the country. You can do all of that and more at jointheduo.com. You can come to our career night. You can set a consultation with me to learn more about LPT Realty for your real estate business and how I can help you grow your real estate team or your real estate business, again, at jointheduo.com. You can register for our career night. You can also register for our LPT rally, which is going to be Wednesday of this coming week. You can show up in person and learn more about LPT, as well as get some nice barbecue food from Four Rivers at my office at 6320 South Del Mabry. Again, you can do that at jointheduo.com. And we're going to continue this conversation about the Tampa Bay real estate market after a quick break here on the Duncan Duo Show. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. I talked in the first segment about our success lately in getting bidding wars on luxury properties above $1 million. Great track record recently, unique marketing plan that we do, and a massive amount of experience that I have selling real estate in Tampa Bay. I want to talk next about investing in real estate. There are a lot of people out there that have seen others have success in real estate and are now starting to think about, maybe building a real estate portfolio for passive income opportunities. But I want to caution people because investing in real estate can also have some downside. There are a lot of snakes out there, people selling you info products, people trying to get you to buy properties that they are wholesaling so they can make a markup on you. There's just a lot of misinformation out there about investing in real estate. So I want to give you some options and some of my thoughts about some steps to take if you're someone that isn't an investor but is thinking about making money in real estate investment opportunities. The first option and a common way of making money in real estate is flipping houses. You make a reasonably quick return. You buy a home that you fix up, you turn around, you sell it. Don't be fooled by the TV shows. Man, they make it look really easy, and I promise I've flipped millions and millions of dollars of real estate, and it is hard. There are a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of mistakes. There's insurance. There's risk. There's contractor problems. And unfortunately, there are so many people doing it that as an individual investor, it is really hard to find those deals. Now, if you're an agent and you have an inside track, or you're an experienced person in the real estate realm, you know how to get in touch with people that are motivated and thinking about selling and finding deals. But the average person that's maybe just owns their home and they're thinking about getting into real estate, I encourage them to look at step number 2 before they jump into the risk of house flipping, which is residential rentals. These are longer-term investments, but they allow you the opportunity to understand construction and renovation costs. They're less risky, reliable income stream. They get some great tax benefits. My recommendation before you think about investing in real estate is first owning your own home, and then rentals, and then flipping, because I think each one of those things give you a little bit of experience for the next one. You know, I've had people come to me and say, hey, I'm going to become a house flipper. Do you own your own home? No. Do you have any money? No. Problem, probably not going to work for you. So the reality is that there's a lot of risk in the flipping. A lot of people make mistakes and lose big with rental properties. Even if you miss a little bit, you're not going to lose big. So, I'm a big fan of people starting with their own home and then transitioning to rentals and then looking at, flipping. Commercial rentals is very similar to residential rental, and this is something that I would consider if you were a business owner and you're going to occupy part of a building. That would be a logical step to where you would buy a building, you would occupy part of it and rent out the others. There are some ways to move into commercial rentals if you have a business or a business owner, but again, similar to the other paths, this would be something I would do after you've looked at the other paths, especially if you're not a business owner. So benefits of buying an investment property, again, many opportunities for that. It needs to be properly managed. You need to know your numbers. But there are, potential to earn passive income. Again, a lot of people want to make money while they sleep. Earning passive income, in a rental property is a great way to do that. Potential tax benefits. You're going to get deductions and tax breaks. You need to treat your investment property like a business. Okay. It is a business decision, not an emotional one. Unfortunately, I see a lot of people make mistakes in the rental property world and don't make money or make less money because they feel sorry for the tenant, or they put a family member in there, or they put a friend in the place and the friend can't pay. So you have to treat it like a business if you want to be profitable. There is a possible increase in value, of course. When you buy real estate, you're going to gain the equity. You're also going to get the downside. So if we see depreciation, then you're going to get that too. You can certainly buy with cash. Rates are tough right now if you have the ability to buy cash. Other than that, you're going to finance it. There are benefits to financing in that you're using someone else's money to control an asset. It gives you more leverage. It's also a flexible investment. Flexible because you can make improvements to it. If you own Google stock, you can't really show up to the Google headquarters tomorrow and work on it to improve the value of it. There's nothing you can do strategically. You can't add a second property. You can't add a mother-in-law apartment. You can't rent out the garage. You can't creatively do things with stock that you own, but with real estate, you have the ability to improve it. You can get sweat equity. You can make some renovations yourself. You can certainly hire contractors to do that as well, which may, reduce your return on investment. It depends on the time that you have available and the resources that you have to deploy to making improvements to the investment property. Some of the cautions: initial investment can be high. If you've got a few $1,000s, probably not the place to go. There are ongoing costs. There's risk. There's storms. There's insurance. Finding the right tenant isn't always easy. Strong recommendation: don't rent to friends and family because you're going to get guilt tripped. Treat it like a business. It's not a charity. Property prices can drop. So you can see depreciation, and it is not liquid, meaning that when you look to sell it, it may take a little while to exit it. It's not like you can push a button with the stock investment and immediately get your money back. So hopefully those real estate investment tips are helpful for you. If you are thinking about investing in real estate, call our office, 813-359-8990. Express some interest in that. We'll make sure to get you to one of our investment agents. We have agents that work exclusively on investment deals only, and work with investors to help them find great return on investment opportunities, great cap rates, great cash flows. Again, reach out to our office, 813-359-8990. We're going to be back after a quick break, continuing our conversation here on the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market. One of the most important things that a real estate agent brings to the table when selling your property is helping you prepare the home for sale and helping give you tips to improve its value. Just recently, I've gone through a couple of, $2 million plus properties, an estate, a condo. I went through an $800,000 house in South Tampa. And my goal in walking through the property and walking around it, and it's the same thing that all of our agents do, is using those years of experience and those thousands of home sales that we've had to look at the property and determine what are some things that could potentially keep it from selling, okay? The number one. And number two, what are some things that the customer could do, maybe even inexpensive things that would be a great return on investment to prepare the home for sale. So when you're working with a real estate agent, especially in a market today that isn't the same as a year or two, it's a little more challenging to sell a property today than it was, 2 and 3 years ago. That being said, when you look at it, you need some advice. You need some advice about what you need to do, some things you need to move around in the home, some things you need to change. And one of the things that we go back to a lot is curb appeal. You want the property from the curb to look nice. So you want to spruce up the curb appeal. And this doesn't mean, you're putting in palm trees and spending thousands of dollars. It could be as simple as, a fresh cut, some trimming, maybe hiring a landscaping company. If you've been mowing the lawn yourself and you're doing a haphazard job, maybe having somebody come in, trim up your plants, maybe get rid of some weeds, get rid of some plants, add some curb appeal. It can be done really inexpensively. We just recently had one where I think I spent maybe $500 on curb appeal because I felt like the curb appeal was really bad and we needed to improve it. It does not have to be massively expensive. Some color, some flowers, some mulch. You want to remove old leaves and debris. Again, lawns can be littered when we don't have much of a season change, but we do get a lot of leaves. So prone to collecting leaves, you want to get rid of those. If you've got areas where the grass isn't growing, you want to water, you want to get that grass growing, especially dry times of year when we don't get as much rain if you don't have an irrigation system. A new coat of mulch. Man, I cannot tell you how valuable adding a new coat of mulch around some plants or even a bunch of plants that don't have any mulch, how much it can shake up the color palette. Sometimes you can try a different shade of mulch depending on the color of the home, brown, black, brown, black, red. Each one complements a home differently depending on the color of the door, color of the trim. But adding a new coat of mulch is definitely a way to go. Cleaning up your hedges, trimming your trees. Sometimes we find trees are hanging down, covering the windows, touching the roofs, things like that make the property not look as appealing. Consider the state of the structure itself too. Sometimes the house might need to be repainted. When people pull up to the house, you want them to fall in love. They're not on a fact-finding mission. They're still looking at the visible. Think of the visible needing to be impressive. It could need a pressure wash. It could need paint. Maybe just some simple touch-up things. Maybe there's really simple little things that you could do to make it look more appealing. Maybe the fascia is popped out of the plastic structure. Maybe it needs pushed back in. But a fresh coat of paint or pressure washing could go a long way towards covering up and correcting the dings, the scratches. And if you're looking to shake things up, you can try a different color of paint. You can sand down a wooden door and cover it with stain and varnish to restore its natural look. But again, this is where a great real estate agent comes in handy. A great real estate agent is going to look at this and say, hey, here's what I think you need to do based on all of my years of experience. Here's what I'd do if I owned this home. You can also add pops of color. If the home is dreary and you don't have a lot of color, look for ways to coordinate the color between the door and the mulch or the plants that are there and the door and the trim. Color coordinating it is a way to appeal to certain personality types that want that conducive kind of flow to the property. So hopefully these tips are important. The other things that pay attention to when you're selling your home, again, you want to eliminate as many cosmetic things as you can, because even though cosmetic isn't contractual, it leads a consumer to think that something's wrong. So if you had a leak that's been fixed, but there's cosmetic damage, fix the cosmetic damage, or people are just going to assume there's a leak that you didn't repair properly. You want to eliminate objections from people when you're getting the home ready for sale. The other things to pay attention to would be cleanliness. have a house clean. If you're not a clean person, if you're not going to keep the home clean, have a house cleaner. If you can't afford a house cleaner or don't want to have a house cleaner, simply do it yourself or hire someone. Make sure the house is getting cleaned, that it smells nice, that someone is going through the property and checking to make sure everything is cleaned up. A house cleaner can go a long way towards making sure the home is presentable. If you're looking to cash out your equity, you might have to invest a little bit into making sure the home is kept up. And if you're going to get into spending money, you want to first attack the 4-point items that might cause a home not to be able to close. Does it need a new roof? Okay, is the roof old? It's going to be an insurance problem if the roof is old. Is the AC bad? Going to be an insurance problem. Are there electrical code issues? Are there major plumbing issues? Those are all things that contractually and from an inspection and insurance perspective can cause a deal to get canceled. And then after those things, if you're looking at sprucing it up, you want to look at kitchen and baths. You do kitchen and baths, and those are the wow factor items that are going to get you a greater return on investment. So again, you're listening to the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show here on WFLA News. When we aren't on air, we are at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, every social media channel. We are at the Duncan Duo. When we aren't on air, DuncanDuo.com for your free home value estimate or your instant cash offer. We buy homes every single week directly from consumers. In addition to be a real estate company that helps people sell homes, we provide the other opportunity for people that say, you know what, I don't want to list my home traditionally. I just want cash. Get me out. Make me an offer. Similar to a lot of the funds out there, we have our own cash available to buy homes. We're a local home buyer. And we're using local contractors, turning the properties around and putting them back on the market and improving neighborhoods. So if you want a cash offer, you can do that at DuncanDuo.com, and we'll give you a quick, clean cash offer. And last but not least, we'll also talk to you about, what you might leave on the table if you take a cash offer. Maybe you just want to sell your home traditionally. We're going to give you all the options to help you exit. And we do some unique things too with the cash offer program. We have programs available where you can renovate the home and have a company get paid at closing if you're in a good enough equity position. Let's say that your house is worth $100,000 more than what it's going to sell for, but you don't have the $10,000 to clean and fix the property up. We can help provide a contractor that will do that and then get paid at closing in some circumstances. And then secondly, the other benefit that we have as a home buyer over some of the funds is that we'll certainly, when the property is in a certain criteria, a lot of the funds that are out there buying homes, I mean hedge funds, they buy homes all day long, every day. They buy a certain criteria of home. Well, we will buy homes that need a lot of work. We'll buy homes that are in bad condition, that need massive renovation. We'll also work with owners and allow them to stay for a period of time after closing if they need a little bit more extra time to move. So those are all things that we do, a lot more flexibility than the funds, because we are a local home buyer and we're making local decisions. And you can, again, get your home value estimate or your cash offer at DuncanDuo.com. So are there any first-time home buyers listening? If you're a first-time home buyer, I want to give you a few tips, but I also want to tell you, if you're not a first-time home buyer, but you are a friend or family member of one, let's say your kids aren't listening to the show right now and they're thinking about buying their first home, the agent that they work with really does matter. And again, we have agents at our company that love working with first-time home buyers, that's what they focus on. There are programs out there that the agent needs to be aware of. There are programs called Hometown Heroes where they can get down payment assistance or better mortgage rates in the state of Florida. Again, those are things that the average agent sometimes doesn't know. So if you're someone thinking about buying a first home, we'd love the opportunity to help you. Again, theduncanduo.com. You could call us 813-359-8990 or text us. We text on that number as well. But first-time homebuyers are facing a more challenging real estate market. It's why the agent they hire matters. More obstacles than they would have encountered just a half decade ago. Here's 3 tips. Before we jump to break, we got a couple minutes. I want to give you 3 tips to successfully navigate the market as a first-time home buyer. The first one is expect to move quickly. A lot of competition on homes. There's a lot of cash buyers out there. There aren't a ton of homes available. So if you see a home that you like as a first-time home buyer, it won't be on the market long before it's sold. The homes that fit first-time homebuyer price points across the country average 23 days on the market. So in Tampa, we're seeing some of those affordable homes, those $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 houses, $500,000 houses, sometimes go within days, bidding wars. So if you want to sleep on it, you may not sleep in it. So expect to move quickly. Apply for a mortgage approval before you begin looking at homes. First-time homebuyers make the mistake of thinking because they looked at Credit Karma or Experian and they know their credit score that they're going to qualify. But it is a little bit more than that. It's your income. It's how long you've been in your position. It's your debt-to-income ratio. There's a lot of customers that we've seen go out, get excited about buying a home, and then get denied or told they can only qualify for a certain amount, and it totally it's demoralizing. So make sure you get your mortgage pre-approval before you look at houses. Secondly, set a realistic budget to offer at or above the asking price. The first-time homebuyer market, again, not a lot of inventory. Bidding wars are happening. Have a number in mind that you can go above the asking price and still be able to afford the property. It is super competitive, and you've got to be, again, when you're competing with cash, and a lot of the cash buyers out there in that segment of the first-time homebuyer market, you've got to be very aggressive with your offer. 28% of homes sold above the asking price in the first-time homebuyer market across the country. So you're going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to move quick. You need a great agent. You need to be approved ahead of time, and you need to be willing to go over the asking price. And last but not least, it's time to call the wealthy uncle. If you can get cash, cash is king. If you have somebody willing to loan you the money and a family member, your parents, whoever it is, now's the time, because with interest rates where they are, it's challenging out there for first-time home buyers. So those favors that you may be able to call in, buying a home is definitely the time to seek some outside assistance for financing or down payment help, from a friend or family member as well. So hopefully those tips have been helpful. We'll be back. We're going to wrap up the show with our last segment after a quick break here on WFLA News. So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show talking about the Tampa Bay real estate market at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, DuncanDuo.com for your quick cash offer or your home value estimate, again, at DuncanDuo.com. Buyers' preference is shifting towards smaller homes. The average size of a new build home in 2023 fell to the smallest size since 2010. We'd been on this trajectory for a decade where the average home kept growing, and now it seems like consumers are starting to say, hey, let's dial that back. But you know what's not shrinking? And I found this interesting too, and this aligns with me very much so, the size of the garage. As consumers are shrinking their size of their home, garages are getting larger or outbuildings. So the average square foot of people with garages, the garage size grew. So people are giving up a little bit more of the house for more storage or more garage or more space for toys or golf carts or boats. So I found that interesting. And I want to talk about that really quickly, because if you are someone that is a car enthusiast looking for a large garage home, or you have a large garage home to sell, I have to tell you, I have a pretty expansive garage myself and a nice car collection. And I laugh all the time when I see some of the luxury agents on the market that have a home listed because they just don't understand the value of the garage, and they call it a 2-car garage. It's a 2-car garage because it's got two 1-car doors, but it's a whole first floor of the property. You can fit 12 cars in it. I can't tell you how many times I see mistakes in luxury real estate from agents that misclassify the garage, and they're missing a whole segment of the population of people that are looking for a 5+ car garage. Additionally, because of that knowledge, if you're someone that's looking to buy in that space, I know how to navigate around that. And set up searches and use tax rolls to look by square footage and find the right properties for you as someone who's a garage enthusiast myself. So if you're someone that's thinking about buying a large garage home or selling a large garage home, if you're someone that doesn't, if you're dealing with an agent that doesn't quite understand the value of that, then they're going to misadvertise it. They're going to miss the opportunity to explain that it's a 10+ car garage. Just because it has 2 doors doesn't mean it's a 2-car garage. I literally saw this week on a $5 million house. It was classified as having a 3-car garage because it had a 2-car garage door and a 1-car garage door on the other side, which is very similar to my house. It was advertised as a 3-car garage. The entire first floor of the house was the garage. You could fit 12 cars in the garage. The house had been on the market for 100 days and hadn't sold. And gee, I wonder why, because a huge value proposition with consumers right now are garage sizes are increasing. People want more toys. People want to spend more time in their garage. They want a man cave. People moving from other parts of the country that are used to a basement want a bigger garage on the first floor. It's just the way that it's happening in Tampa Bay. So if you're not working with if you're a car enthusiast and you're not working with a car enthusiast that knows how to navigate through that knows how to find those opportunities, that knows how to read through the lines, but also selling that property with a large garage, if it's not being exposed properly, you're missing a large segment of the buyer marketplace. That is something we definitely will not do at my company because I'm a garage enthusiast. I'm a car junkie. I want to make sure to navigate and also because those are a lot of my friends. Those are people I hang out with. The car crowd are people that I spend time with. So I know how to market it to them, and I network within a lot of those groups. So large garages are becoming a big thing as buyers' preference are shifting to smaller homes. And I still see it now. I see homes out in East Hillsboro where the garage is as big as the house. It is not that uncommon anymore. And more people like that because, again, the garage gets taxed differently than the air-conditioned square footage. And some of them, I'm sure, make it air conditioned. They probably throw a mini split in there out in some houses in Brandon and Riverview. And it becomes almost as livable and usable as the air conditioned space. So it's also effective from a cost perspective to use that space and still get the benefit of the space while not paying as much on taxes. So the large garage segment of our marketplace is not, it's growing. So again, if you've got a home that's being marketed and the garage isn't being accentuated, you're missing a large portion of the audience. If you're a buyer that's looking for a property with a large garage, reach out to me. You can reach out to me personally. I would love to help you. I'm a car junkie. I kind of geek out on finding homes with large garages that are misadvertised to find deals for my clients. I've bought a lot of homes I've renovated and flipped that were misadvertised on garages. I bought one behind Chick-fil-A on Gandy, last year that was advertised as a 2-car garage, and it was like an 8-car garage because the garage was like 1,000 square feet. So again, a lot of opportunity out there in that space. If you're interested in that, find me on Instagram, the Andrew Duncan. Again, the Andrew Duncan on my personal Instagram. If you're a car enthusiast looking for a large garage home or you have a large garage home to sell, I'd love to personally help you. Again, at the Andrew Duncan on my Instagram. If you go to our website or any of that, or you call in, just tell them that that you heard me talk about garages on the show, and they'll make sure to get you directly to me because I'd love to help you. So anyway, we appreciate you tuning in. When we aren't on air, DuncanDuo.com for your free home value estimate or an instant cash offer. Again, that's DuncanDuo.com for a free home value estimate or an instant cash offer. And at the Duncan Duo, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Follow us on all of our socials. We're always giving away cool stuff, too. We've got a Lightning signed jersey giveaway coming soon. So, again, make sure you're following us on our socials where we'll give that away. And thanks again so much for tuning into the show, and have an awesome rest of your weekend, Tampa Bay.